My name is Lindsey Neal, and I'm a board member of the Pearl District Association. I'm so thrilled to be here tonight for this wonderful event. I just have a few thank yous. I'm going to read. I say a few. I've got several thank yous. There are so many incredible people that have been involved in this event to make this thing happen. We've been working for upwards a year on this, and it's incredible, the support for Tulsa music. So I'm just going to start with some of the board of the Pearl District. Thanks to Dave Strader, our president, Jamie Jameson, Christine Booth, Lorinda Stutler, Rachel Navarro, Jeff Olson, Charles Roden, Sarah Hart, Teddy Allen, and Jerry Bowden. And then other helpers that came along for miscellaneous items in this long quest. Katie Livingston, Rick Shadle, Casey Hansen, Michael Cooper, the church studio, of course, Randy Miller, Jacob Miller, and Michael Block. Thank you so much. Garden Diva for putting on such a wonderful festival. What incredible people we have in this Pearl District. What an incredible neighborhood. Lisa Reagan and her staff. We've also got Tulsa World, Kevin Pyle. Thank you so much. Then also all the people at the City of Tulsa that helped us make this happen. We had Mark Brown, Maria Barnes, and her assistant John. We had Urban Tulsa, Mike Easterling, he was a huge help. Sarah Hart at Tulsa World, she helped us with some publicity and all kinds of stuff, starting the original Facebook. The Starlighter Band, after our unveiling, thank you so much. Chris Gerard of the wine, TulsaWines.com, he donated some wine. Channel 8 KTUL, they did some promotion for us. Star 103, and last but not least, Leon Russell. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you. And up next, we've got Honey Colburn, and she's going to speak on behalf of the Tulsa Area Music Archives. Give her a hand.
Good evening. My name is Honey Colburn, and I live in Muskogee. Steve Todoroff is a good friend, and he asked me to tell you who I am and why I'm giving this speech for him. He hated that he couldn't be here, but I'm going to tell you just a little bit about myself and why I'm here. A little over 10 years ago, my son Rick got on the internet and he asked if anyone would like to talk about Leon Russell. Almost immediately, a girl from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania responded, and they started talking. Within a short time, many others joined in with their conversations, and a group was soon formed. At first, they called the group the One List. However, they decided they wanted to include Leon in their title, so someone said, well, they would be fans for life. Thus, the term LeonLifers became their group line. They call me their Lifer Den Mother. I have two sons that enjoyed Leon's music all through high school and into their adult life. I didn't realize the extent of their enjoyment of playing his music loudly until one day I was getting in my car to leave, and my neighbor, 2 doors up, came up to my car and said, Miss Colburn, I feel like I need to tell you that as soon as you drive out of your drive, your sons turn their music up so loud it makes our windows rattle. Now that's 2 doors up. The first time Leon came to my house, I told him, Leon, I've heard your music for years, but it was always followed by me saying, boys, please turn your music down. You're gonna go deaf. And he said, I've been told that by mothers for many years. Leon appreciates the Lifers. Several times through the years, I have invited him to come to my house in Muskogee when the Lifers were there. We have rented the Roxy Theater there in Muskogee, and he has given us a private concert at least 3 or 4 times. The last time we had around 200 at my house. As of today, the membership of the LeonLifers has grown to 1,250 members. Steve Todoroff is doing a wonderful job as founder of the Tulsa Area Music Archives, and he's very sorry he couldn't be here. So he asked me to read the following speech for him. This is from Steve. Former Tulsan Leon Russell's rise to prominence in the music industry is an impressive story. Born with a birth injury that partially paralyzed the right side of his body, he began to take an interest in the family piano around the tender age of 4, and he began to take lessons shortly after. His mother, Hester, told me some years ago that the first song he learned to play was the hymn, Trust and Obey, which he picked out by ear. After moving to Tulsa in the summer of 1955 with his family, Russell spent the next 4 years showcasing his keyboard skills at various school functions, kiddie dances, and eventually in the active Tulsa club scene, where he was highly respected by his fellow musicians. In 1959, Russell and his band, the Starlighters, were hired by one of the rock and roll pioneers, Jerry Lee Lewis, to open for him and perform as a backup band on the road. The band endured many hardships, including running out of gas, icy roads, and unruly crowds. Despite these hardships, Russell was hooked. Emboldened by his work with Jerry Lee Lewis, he decided to head to Los Angeles, where the LA-based record labels were leaning in the direction of a new breed of music called rock and roll. Through talent and ambition, Russell worked his way up through the Los Angeles club scene, eventually securing studio work in a demo band, and then quickly moving up the ranks to an A-list studio session players. Blessed with precision, consistency, perfect timing, and a quiet demeanor, Russell became an immediate studio favorite, and by 1962 was one of the hottest session players in Hollywood, where he played on scores of hit records from that era. After conquering the session world, he turned his attention to arranging and producing other artists, where he accumulated many gold records. Eventually, he began to write songs and produce records of his own, and he transformed himself into a master of rock piano. Russell's boogie-woogie piano style, distinct singing style, and his flowing silver mane captivated the masses in the early 70s and helped to restore the piano's place in a prominent rock and roll instrument. Additionally, Russell was an intricate part of several major musical events that cultivated contemporary rock music into the state at which it stands today. The first being Joe Cocker's memorable Mad Dogs and Englishman tour, and second being the famed concert at Bangladesh, which set the pattern for the star-studded benefit concerts. Having followed his career since I first heard about him in 1965, I can tell you that of all the talented people that have roots in the city of Tulsa, probably no one has done more to help and mentor scores of fellow musicians as Leon Russell. After he became a successful session player in Los Angeles, Russell purchased a big house in Hollywood Hills on Sky Hill Drive, which became the central hangout and place to crash for many Tulsa musicians who made it to the West Coast. Russell would also find them gigs or use them on a recording at his home studio, which was a popular studio during its days. And when Russell returned to Tulsa in the early 70s to live and opened the Church Studio here on 3rd Street, he not only put Tulsa on the map as a legitimate recording center, but created an outlet for local musicians to record and release their records on his Shelter Records label. To quote my friend, the former Tulsa World Entertainment writer, John Woolley, every rock and roll musician from Tulsa owes a great deal to Leon. So whether playing on or arranging major studio sessions, performing in front of thousands of fans with Sir Elton John, which he will be here next Friday night, or encouraging other musicians to make their own marks, Leon Russell stands as a towering figure in both rock and roll as well as Tulsa's musical history. On behalf of myself, Steve says, the Tulsa Area Music Archives, and the LeonLifers, I congratulate my friend, Leon Russell, on the dedication of this area of 3rd Street near his old church studio to be renamed Leon Russell Road in his honor. Signed, Steve Toder. I would like to conclude my part by just a couple things more of the personal side that I know of Leon. I mentioned my son at the beginning of this speech. Well, shortly after he helped get the LeonLifer started, he found out he had cancer, and he died in 3 weeks. During those 3 weeks, his lifer friends from California to New York started coming to Muskogee to see him to say goodbye. One night toward the end of those 3 weeks, several of us were listening to Leon's music, and Rick said, "Play that last song again." When it ended that time, Rick said, "I want that song played at my funeral." And we did. The name of the song was "Jesus Will Take Me Home" by Leon Russell. I'm sure every one of you that are out there tonight can think of a specific song that has helped you through a special time in your life that you'll never forget. So thank you, Leon Russell, for all you've done for us. Thank you, Pearl District, for having us. And thank you, Tulsa, for giving honor to him, to Leon. You know, there's not many people that have a street sign in their town with their name on it. And so this honor will be remembered every time we drive up and down this street. Thank you.
When in Tulsa,